Hello everyone, my name is Sarita B. For those of you who have been following along and this ain't new to you, this is true to you, welcome back to the channel. Those of you who are new, welcome. It's great to have you. I'm just going to jump right in. So I am continuing with the 100 questions series. The 100 questions that I'm asking myself until I figure out what I'm truly meant to do with my life, in life. Like, what's my life purpose? Because it's still TBD. So I want to just jump right in. I don't have an intro today for this episode. I'm just going to get right into it, dive right into the deep end. Prompt number 3. What are my core values and how do they shape my life? I'm going to share with you all my top 5 core values in no particular order. Number 1, freedom and autonomy. Valuing independence to make my own choices. So I touched on freedom a little bit in the previous episodes. That to me speaks for itself. I value my independence. I value the freedom to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Being able to say yes to assignments, no, just having the liberty to do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's most important to me because I have really high highs and really low lows. So being able to wake up one day, and if I am tired of a routine that I've had for the past 6 to 8 weeks, I just want to be able to say, you know what? I need to switch things up. I'm not really feeling this routine that I've got going on, and just honoring myself for how I am feeling in those moments where I can't just be doing the same thing quarter after quarter after quarter. I mean, I really commend people, even the closest people in my life, who no matter what, like, their baseline is pretty stable. Like, they're well-rounded, balanced individuals. They're able to clock in at the same time every day, do however many hours of work. Like, this is what I'm getting at. I didn't think it would take me time to ramp up and get to what I'm trying to say, but this is what I'm saying. It's like, I really commend and at the same time envy people who are able to hold a 9-to-5 and stick with that for years. I can't do that. Like, I mean, I have done that because that's just, like, in the country that I live in, capitalism is like at the forefront, and society prides itself on holding a 9-to-5 job and sticking with that 9-to-5 job for 20, 25, 30 plus years. And I'm over here thinking, gee, I don't know how people, like, a lot of people do that. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing. I don't know if it's an autism thing, just neurodivergent way of thinking, but I simply cannot, like, it bothers me that I don't have the freedom or the flexibility in my life to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I guess that just goes back to, like, it ties back to those who have an entrepreneurial spirit versus those who really like that fixed schedule and fixed income. It's a part of stability. And now I'm going to segue into my second core value, stability and security. So, number one was freedom. Having the freedom to choose my schedule, to choose how I want my day to go, which is kind of like how my day is going now. I got up at a decent time this morning, worked out because I had all this energy from the night before, had an amazing breakfast, and got myself mentally, had my coffee, gotta have my coffee, and got myself mentally prepared for this episode, to record this episode. So I'm doing great, because it's like, I created my schedule. There wasn't a boss who was overseeing my work, commanding me to do something at a certain time, clock in at a certain time. Where is Sarita? Where is she? Kind of micromanaging, watching my every move, figuring out, like, okay, well, when are you going to do this? And when is this going to be submitted? And what's your deadline for that? Da, 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 da. It's like, no, I need to figure this all out on my own, because I am my own boss. But at the same time, number two, my second core value is about stability and security. I value safety. I value reliability. Without these two, I will spiral out of control worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. For example, the fear of losing all my money because I'm out of a job, or I'm not working enough hours to maintain my lifestyle, or I'm only able to get hired at low-paying jobs, menial low-paying jobs, which is not sustainable. So there's a lot of worrying about the future instead of living in the present tense, living in the moment, and worried about present discomfort. That's a big one. Present discomfort. So discomfort in the now, instead of taking action to do something about the discomfort that I'm feeling. So before I get into that, I want to give you all a really good example about that. But I really need to stress the importance of, this is what I value in my life, right? Like, in order for me to be a well-rounded person in society, a well-functioning human being in society, number one, I value freedom. I need the freedom to grow at the pace that I want to grow at, do all the things that I'm called to do, called in to do. But that takes time, money, effort, resources, and those are luxuries that not everyone can afford. And that ties into my stability / security. that part of me that needs to feel safe, that needs to know that I am a reliable person, because there's no one that's going to be throwing money or resources at me and saying, girl, I got you. You don't have to worry about a damn thing. I've got it covered. There's no one who's doing that. So I gotta be that person to do that for myself. Really, it's just me and God and myself. So that's what I really wanted to paint a better picture. Now that I'm awake now, so I can speak in complete sentences, because I don't know what the heck was happening the first 10 minutes. But yes, that's what I wanted to touch on. And let's go back to worrying about the future, worrying about things that have not even happened yet, worried about loss of control, loss of security, and feeling uncomfortable in the present. So I think that's where the fear stems from, is that like I'm so uncomfortable with how my daily life is, like my day-to-day, my 9-to-5 job, how that's going for me. Because like I'm so uncomfortable with that job that I have. So for example, working at a low-paying job that's toxic, mentally draining, and due to the toxicity in the workplace and how mentally draining the job is, and doing the job of 2 to 3 people at a time, but only being paid less than what I deserve as someone who has a degree. So there's that undervalued and unappreciated aspect. This is causing me to fixate on all of the bad and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and I should have done this, and had I done that, I would have been here, and I would have been, earning more and been taken more seriously in my life and in my career, and blah, 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 blah. Like all these things that really don't matter, because at the end of the day, I am on this journey to self-discovery. Because prior to this moment, if we look at a timeline of Sarita B's life, prior to this moment, I was living for other people. I was doing things for the sake of another, what that other person wanted, what they thought was good for me, what society had in mind for someone like me with my socioeconomic background, my race, my ethnicity, my nationality, my community, my tribe, my interpersonal skills, my education level. Okay, these are the boxes that were put in by other people for them to compartmentalize and dictate what we're good at. How do you know what I'm good at? How do you know what's best for me? You don't, because you're not inside my head. I have to live with myself every day. You don't. So if that 9-to-5 job is draining for me, but someone else can continue to do that for 30 years, does that make me less than? I really had to sit with myself and ask myself all these questions. And they were painful. Some of the answers that I came up with were heartbreaking, because I would be such a put down. I would put myself down because I was used to the voices of people that would put me down for not measuring up to their expectations. So prior to this moment, I didn't know who I was because I have been conditioned and I have allowed other people to decide that for me. And now I say no more. And moving on to number 3, integrity and honesty. Doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So intentionality is a big thing in my religion. And I found this post on social media, found it, read it, resonated with it, and it just disappeared. I wasn't able to pull it back up again. But that's okay because I remembered the key takeaway from that post about being intentional is that now I am starting to ask myself, are my intentions pure? Am I doing this for validation? Am I doing this for attention? Or am I doing this for the love of the game? Just because? Am I coming from a place of genuine love in terms of my platonic and romantic partnerships, relationships? Or am I just performing? Am I putting on a show? So I would beat myself up time and time again. I would beat myself up about why isn't God taking my requests seriously? Why are my deepest desires? Because God knows what my deepest desires are. He knows my heart. He knows the things that I hide from the rest of the world. And that goes for every single human being on earth. Every soul on this planet. He knows what is hidden from the truth. Everything hidden in darkness. He is the light that shines on it. So there is no sense in falsifying your heart and denying your truth and your authenticity when you stand before him or sit before him or kneel or however you talk to him. There is no sense in lying. And so when I would ask for advancements in my career, or what can I do in this moment? I feel stuck. I feel like I'm not receiving the right kind of mentorship or the right support for my disabilities. No one seems to understand me. I feel alone in what I'm going through, and I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for a way. And then because I'm feeling frustrated that I'm being, put down because I'm working with ignorant people, or they're dismissive and they don't understand that my brain works differently than others. That's where that vengeance comes from. I'm like, oh, I'll show them, just to spite them. And it's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna really show them who I am, and I'm gonna come out on top, and I'm gonna be this executive and, secret SES, or this CEO baddie, and I'm really going to show them. And they're going to, mark my words, they're going to choke. They're going to eat their words for dinner. Right? So those are my intentions, is out of spite. It's like, oh, you lost all that weight, you got this banging body tea for the summer, out of spite because somebody commented on your weight, or your ex was like, oh, you know, you gained a lot of weight and da 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 da. So then y'all broke up over that. But then in the end, you ended up working out, eating right, sleeping more, just really getting into nutrition and valuing your body and finally treating it like a sacred temple. But all of that was out of spite. It wasn't from a place of love for yourself and respect for yourself. And from a healthy mindset. It was all because of someone. It was all a performance. It was all projection. So your intentions were never pure, is what I'm getting at. And whenever I say you or your, I'm really honestly speaking about myself, because I'm on this road to discovery. I'm on this journey. But if you feel this is in alignment with what you're going through, by all means, like, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So if these core values also are similar to yours, really take into account your integrity and how honest you are with yourself. And if your intentions are truly pure, or if you're coming from a place of projection, validation, attention seeking, and performance. Is this a performance piece? So those all rang true to me. And I was wondering why certain prayers weren't being answered. And then I really had to think about it as like, I'm just putting on a show. This isn't really who I am or aligned with what I want to do. This is just me being vindictive and trying to get back at certain people who hurt me, wounded. I'm that 8-year-old little girl who was hurt and dismissed and punished for just being who she was. This smart, loquacious, vivacious, free spirit. And certain people in her life, certain caregivers, didn't know how to respond to such a unique soul. Instead of nurturing that child, they were negligent, dismissive, verbally and emotionally abusive, harmful. And it has taken me decades to find my voice, to bounce back from all of that negative feedback that in no way, shape, or form was constructive at all. So yeah, let's move on to number 4, growth and learning. That's a big one. a commitment to personal development and curiosity. That's what I have. That is a part of my core values, is having the commitment to personal development and the curiosity to keep going and reaching for the stars, for more growth, for more ways to learn. An example of that is the birth of this channel. And not only its birth, but the continuation. How I decide and I make the commitment to keep going and keep growing it. It doesn't matter how long it takes for the channel to grow. What matters is what I'm pouring into it today, now, in the present. Or whenever you find these videos, or whenever these videos find you. A perfect match. And also, how I keep feeling called back to the things that I'm learning, that have shaped me. Even when I take breaks, I still feel called back in, like a loving, beautiful, melodic voice that keeps calling me, lulling me back in the most profound, harmonious way. I just feel so in sync, in harmony, in love with my passion projects. Not only this channel, not only speaking about personal, professional growth, but also about mystical things, the occult, the unseen, herbalism, nature, exercising, fitness, feeling good in your body, health, nutrition, wellness, well-being, mental health, all of these things. Filmmaking, that's a big one because that's my visual side of storytelling. Not only just writing it, journaling or screenwriting, sharing my wild dreams to the public, but how am I going to share that visually as well? And lastly, creativity. I pretty much talked about it in number 4, growth and learning, but creativity is a big one for me. The ability to use my imagination for work and play. As I was giving great examples about filmmaking, screenwriting, editing videos, producing my own work, my intellectual property, and sharing that with the world. That's huge. That's a big thing, and that's something that I'm always being called back to. Even when I tell myself, oh, I'm going on another hiatus. I'm going on another break. And I don't know how long I will be on this break, but I am going on a break. And I snap out of that, almost like a siren call to quit. I snap out of that and I come and I jump back in. And it's like seeing an old friend that you haven't seen in so long. But when you two link up, it's like no time has passed at all. That's how it is for me with my creativity. Like, it's always there. Sometimes it's in the background, sometimes it's in the foreground, and sometimes it's all around. It's very ubiquitous. So yeah, those are my 5 core values and the reasons for how they shaped my life. If you found this helpful, insightful, intriguing, leave a comment down below and share some of your core values. Thank you all for making it this far. I am a certified yapper, so you know these videos are always going to be long no matter what. I try to make them shorter, but sometimes you just gotta let the thoughts escape and get out, because it might help someone. So yeah, I say the longer the better. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, stay tuned for the next prompt, which will be about healing emotional wounds. That one is going to be a doozy, but it will be interesting. I will tell you that. All right. Love and light to you all.